there's still customers who are not fully satisfied with the telecom sector as a whole in Bangladesh, including Grameenphone.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, because it's very difficult to please everybody all the time. And we operate, now, let me just talk about this company. We operate 3G, 2G, 4G networks and data in a country where it is difficult to operate. We have some of the lowest prices in the world. We have some of the highest taxation burdens in the world. Yet we deliver an internet service, a mobile internet service now. We're not perfect. We still have a lot of work to do. And it's so dense in this country that a 2-kilometer gap means that there are probably 6,000 or 7,000 people that do not have the best service that they could. So last year, we rolled out 5,000 4G sites, about another 1,500 basic 2G sites, 3G sites. Now, this year we're going to do 19,000 different installations in our network. There's a huge opportunity to continue to grow and to be better. But nevertheless, last year, we added 7 million new subscribers. Not at gunpoint. They came to us because we offer the best service in the country. And yes, we pledge to continue to improve every day because this is part of the competitiveness of the nation. Some people are upset. We try to deal with every one of those issues.
Do you think that quality of service only depends on the GP, like GP to GP or Robi or other? Yeah?
The quality. First of all, let's talk about call drops. Our call drop rate in the country is well below what the BTRC mandates. We don't do our own fiber optic cable, or broadly we don't. We don't have the right to do that. Soon we won't be doing our own towers. We don't do international connectivity, and even there are brokers of connectivity between the mobile operators. When you break up the value chain like that, it makes it very difficult to provide an end-to-end quality of service. It is one of the only places in the world that happens. So we struggle a little bit with that, but nevertheless, I must say, the quality of service in Bangladesh is actually extremely good value for money, and objectively, if you look at some of the measurements, quite good at an international standard. More to be done. Our international calling is terrible. Calling in is terrible to this country. Calling out is bad. And we need now to get more spectrum, because that will allow us now to offer faster speeds. Remember that, I just want to make the point that while we have the fastest network in Bangladesh, Telenor has the fastest network in the world in Norway. The fastest network in the world in Norway, is in Norway with Telenor. So we know how to build the fastest networks in the world. And we can do that here as well. If spectrum is made plentifully available at reasonable prices, we can actually do that.
So about revenue, a large percentage of the telecom companies' revenue used to come through the voice calls, but things have changed. So where's the most revenue coming in from now? And what plans do you have in the pipeline to adjust to these changes?
Well, this change from voice to data is something that's happened in some markets 15 years ago. So it's something we understand. In Norway, almost all the phone calls are now 4G phone calls. We're decommissioning 3G in Norway. The revenue still broadly comes from voice, about low 70% from voice, about 20% going to 25% on data, and the rest other stuff. That will change over time. More data, less voice. But we've done this in almost every other developed market that we're in. We see this in Thailand, we see this in Malaysia, we see this in Denmark and in Sweden and in Norway, and in fact all the countries. So it's not a threat. In fact, what happens is it becomes a different kind of service that you offer customers. And so we do that. We also prepare new revenue streams for the future, like in Telenor Health, or in different projects that we have to find other revenue streams as we continue to want to grow. So it's positive. The faster it happens, the better it is. It's an indicator of the progress of the Bangladeshi economy towards catching up on telecom services with the rest of the world. So we encourage it.
And in one of your previous answers, you were talking about the different services, you know, health and everything, and you mentioned financial services.
Yeah.
But in Bangladesh, why hasn't that been possible for you?
Well, unfortunately, and we think that is a place where we have a significant disagreement with the state, is that mobile operators have been banned, like literally banned from owning any equity whatsoever in mobile financial services. And I think that I think personally is a mistake. I think it is critically important that we rapidly expand the number of individuals that have access to basic financial services. In the Millennium Development Goals, whose first objective was to eradicate poverty, and for which Bangladesh made great progress, the first tool is to give people agency and access to financial services. So mobile financial services is the key to giving people access to financial services. It has a benefit to the individual, to their family, and to the economy. And it has the added benefit of formalizing the economy and providing opportunities for widening the tax base. And we don't want to run a bank. We don't want to compete with the banking sector. We want to create a fertile ground of people who have basic financial services that cannot be serviced by banks today because they're so small, so that they can graduate into conventional banking over the next 5 to 10 years. And I think barring mobile companies from this piece is a tactical mistake.
Grameenphone is the only telecom company in Bangladesh who is registered with the share market.
Yes.
So you have about 10% shares with the different individual investors, companies investing. So do you have any plan of floating more shares in the market?
Well, the quick answer to that is no. We have about 30,000 individual shareholders in the company right now. It's a massive responsibility that we have. We're pleased with the operation of the stock market. We try to play a role now because analysts follow us and follow us as a proxy for investing in Bangladesh, even if they don't own our stock. We take great care in properly representing the opportunities of Bangladesh to the rest of the world. I get to meet, and my colleagues get to meet with 200 or 300 analysts every year, either one-on-one or in group sessions. And we carry a very positive message about investing in Bangladesh and coming to the stock market in Bangladesh. That is a fundamental kind of sacred responsibility that we have as a very large publicly traded company here in the country, and we can actually help attract foreign direct investment. So I don't think we're going to put more shares out there on the stock market. We're happy with the split that exists right now between the majority player in Oslo and the local large shareholder, and then the public float. I don't think that will change anytime soon.
You've been doing business in Bangladesh for a long time, Grameen. And according to the World Bank's Doing Business Index, Bangladesh stands 176 out of 189. So do you think Bangladesh is actually doing that bad? I mean, what would you say?
Listen, I would say that having been here for 22 years, institutionally we've developed the tools that allow us to operate quite effectively in this market. We are quite blessed to be in Bangladesh as a company. It has changed us fundamentally as a group. We export talent from Bangladesh into the group. We have about 35 individuals who now work in different parts of Telenor Group across from Bangladesh. For me personally, the experience of being here for almost 2 years now has changed me as a manager, because it is a complex working environment and you have to spend a lot of time with stakeholders. But there are a few places in the world where there's a population of this size that has had the economic growth that it's had over the last 10 years, where so many people have been raised from poverty towards a middle class living. And they're not finished. There's still a lot of things that work to be done. And that's created fantastic opportunities for our company, for our business, not only to provide telecommunication services, which is almost a human right now, but also to provide an opportunity for a telecom or a IT infrastructure and ecosystem to build in order to make the country more competitive internationally. So that's a mission. And finally, the third thing that we bring is we try to run our businesses openly, transparently, and honestly, so that we can be an example to the rest of the world that it can be done here and you can invest here. So that is a mission that we're very happy to take on. We take on with humility, and we try to do better every day, and we really like it when people tell us we're messing up. Because it's okay. We got a lot of people telling us we're doing well. That makes me feel good, but it doesn't help me. When we're messing up, that's important to hear about it.
What is your impression about Bangladesh and Bangladeshi people?
Oh.
You visited all...
I visited the whole country. This is a place where the poorest of the people will give you half of what they have. It's a place where, you know, I'm Muslim myself, so I get a place to practice my faith, you know, with everybody else, most of the people around me who are also from Islam. It's a place where I have I see incredible industriousness, I should say, where entrepreneurship comes from the bottom up, where you know, this garment industry is some people call it a miracle. It's not a miracle. Some people see the growth in the economy and the growth in the middle class as a miracle. It's not a miracle. It's kind of vision and policy and execution and hard work from the bottom up, and also with the government working towards that. So for me, being here is a real education. And hopefully I can give something back while I'm here. I'm not going anywhere soon, but it's a real pleasure and it's a privilege to be able to do this.